Hello and welcome everyone to another great episode by the B2B POD. I have a very special guest with us for this episode, Abdullah Khorami, who will talk to us about the discerning IT sales while adopting digital transformation.
Welcome to the B2B Pod by the Pulse of Dubai with your host, Radwa Hassan, a podcast that touches upon everything that's going on in and around the B2B industry.
Abdullah is a dynamic, highly motivated, and experienced senior level sales and business development professional with a robust track record of successfully building key business relationships as part of the strategy to expand market share and drive new business revenues. He has 17 years of experience leading high-performing teams in executing action plans to achieve aggressive business targets with an emphasis on IT software, networking, and communications for high-profile organizations, such as VMware, British Telecom, Cisco, and National Commercial Bank. Additionally, he holds an EMBA in Business Administrations, BS Information Management System, Project Management Certification, and a candidate of DBA program. He's passionate about helping and driving transformational changes for many customers throughout leading an outstanding regional team and fostering a results-oriented approach to achieving established targets and delivering on customer service excellence. Skilled in interpreting sales and marketing data to transform figures into actionable results.
Abdullah will talk to us about the discerning IT sales while adopting digital transformation. This is a very key topic to many business leaders, organizations, as we live through it and within it. So welcome, Abdullah Khorami, to our episode. How are you?
Hello, Sahlan. Hi, Radwa. Hi, everyone. I'm good. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me in this great podcast.
Thank you very much. And if I'm going to give a little bit of a background of the topic that we're going to discuss, we're going to talk through some of the key challenges, drivers, and areas that really govern the digital transformation. So we're going to look at what are the key areas where we have seen the changes when it comes to digital transformation, pre and post pandemic. So this is one area. And really the flexibility that we have seen in terms of the mobility and the location of the employees, and really how technology has contributed to that very much. The changing ways that the customers deal with their services, how they have improved their services to their clients, how technology has contributed to that. And that would bring me to ask Abdullah, what do you think the turning point from all the different elements, collectively or individually, that I have mentioned, that you really believe is evidence as to the change?
All right. That's a very long question, but let me try. Let me try to get to it. So I would say, first of all, the changes that you mentioned in your questions, pre and post the pandemic, were many, but I can talk about a few. So you mentioned about the flexibility that companies had been adapting, and flexibility of working hours, flexibility of locations, flexibility of mind, actually, when they think about how to deal with the operation, how to deal with customers, how to handle the new way of customers' request. So one major change is definitely the flexibility that I've seen in customers, and in customers and their own customers as well. Number two, I think when it comes to technology, I have seen a huge leap of faith, where technologies, or some of the technologies, were nice to have, or it's okay to have, but suddenly it became must to have. We're talking about virtual meetings, where I used to ask customer to have online meetings. Said I want it face to face. Today, when we ask for face to face meeting, They tell you, how about we do it quickly and we do it online through, the online video conferencing solution, which is great. Actually, it saves a lot of time, and they take it seriously.
Yeah.
As well, there are other, technology solutions like virtual desktop, where it enables a lot of people, including great part of the female community, to work from home and be more contributing to the world. Actually, especially in Saudi, for example, and in the Gulf, ladies or female force were not at the right position. I think after the pandemic and with the major changes that happening in the region, we've signed a huge growth in the percentage of that. Another point, I think what I saw part of the change is big jump in the automation, in processes, policies, infrastructure, where I wanted to do things easier, quicker, without losing much time for my customer to get their services or products. And one change in the mentality I've seen that comes to managers basically is trusting productivity versus attendance. Where previously we had people, what time did you come? When are you leaving? Today, they're looking into their productivity, they're looking into their achievement. So I think it's a good change. It's a healthy change where we trust people and we focus on the productivity rather than attendance and wasting time at coming and going from the office.
But Abdullah, do you believe that this change is going to last, or gradually people will start to go back to their norms as they would forget about the pandemic experience and how really productivity has jumped up because people have more flexibility? And I know in many of the organizations you hear recruiters talking about how the flexibility in the workforce is contributing to the brand reputation and how people are more likely to join certain organizations over others.
I believe it's all about the managers and the way the companies do it. So, for example, I've seen a lot of companies adopted in their systems 1 day per week remote work, or a couple of days per month where their employees can work remotely. They can choose. Some other companies, they already adapted in their HR systems. If you want to work all year from home, then it's okay. You just mention it, you add it in the system, and then we can reduce the office's footprint and reduce the sizes of the offices. While other companies requires the people come because their job requires them to come. But I think it's already here. It will not go. For the new joiners, it's part of the blood already. For the old schools, maybe we see some resistance, I would say. However, I don't think it will fade. I think it will stay forever.
I hope so, because I think it has given people more, aside from the flexibility. You feel that the organization is trying also to make the effort to make you feel more comfortable. So some even organizations, if I'm not mistaken, if it's maybe Spotify, they're offering their employees to work from anywhere in the world. I mean, you would have a remote, and I'm seeing a spike in the remote jobs that are now more available, that you can hire people
I
anywhere.
agree with you. Yeah,
So,
yeah. I think it based on the kind of business that the organization have. Then they have this flexibility. Some of them, they needed facing customers where employees must be there. Some of them, they have the flexibility of doing a back office from wherever. So based on the job that you perform, based on the company's overall line of business, I think this is flexibility I've seen in many customers in the region. So I agree with you. Yeah.
true. So, if I ask you, with the digital transformation journey, what are the type of insights, some of them, from research on people's behavior during the digital transformation from employees to CEOs, that you can share, and that you believe that if people cope better or bring in that different experience of the digital transformation to the organization, they can cope better with the challenges, best practices?
Okay, let me start with this. I think the word digital transformation means different things for different people. And when I say different people, now I talk about the C-level CEOs, right? So I think not every
Yes.
CEO has the same idea about the digital transformation. Some of them think of it as simple as, I do automation and paperless, relieve my operations as much as possible. Some of them, they go ahead and think about it's the like fourth industrial revolution, or it's the AI that I'm going to bring to the world, or something 2050 business that I'm driving today. So it based on what the CEO thinks about digital transformation. So this is just a starting point. And
Yeah.
I believe the CEOs are the leader of change. If the CEO is not at the right level, the whole organization does not shine. Okay, and one part of having a great CEOs is basically, I think today they need. I encourage them to read more about technology. I encourage them to understand what technology is adding into their line of business. I also encourage them to attend a couple of conferences of technologies around the world. It helps a lot for them to challenge their own teams to understand what's going on. And some of them takes it to the second level by asking for vendors executives to meet on a quarterly basis, so they understand what other competition or similar industries across the world are doing, so they learn and they go back to their teams and they challenge them, what are you doing and how can we do similar business like what other companies doing in the industry. um, Internally, I think one of the main important things that CEOs can do to basically make sure that they work toward the digital transformation in a good way is training for the employees. Training. If I don't train my people, I would not expect more from them. Second point is, imagine that I have like 4 to 5 meetings with C-level per month. And when we ask about what is the digital transformation strategy, find 1 of 5 has it ready. In today's world, I think this is not the right way to move forward. If the digital transformation strategy is not there for the company, I think this is a big issue for the company to move forward. Last thing is automation. I think automation in the process and infrastructure is very important for any company to move forward with their businesses.
Great, Abdullah. I agree with you very much also on the point that not every CEO and leaders in an organization are very clear. I don't want to say clear, but very clear and spot on with what they need digital transformation for. And it's a 360 view. So looking at the digital transformation and its impact on the organization from internal, as you said, and external, how it will impact my employees, how it will impact us in our operational back end, and also the impact on our customers. Some CEOs maybe miss to create that link or believe that it is a more of a technology and a technical topic that they would delegate to others and they would not go deep into the details. And that's what sometimes create that gap with the strategy. You have a beautiful strategy, but the execution and creating the what's in it for everyone who is involved is not there. What do you think?
Two things I want to say here. First of all, something related to the employees. I think the employees are the true user of each technology, are the eyes and ears of the companies outside. They understand what's going on in the market. They see their friends working outside, doing some different stuff with different technologies. They have a great value to add to their own organization. Please go and talk to the right people in your organization. If you see something new, something that you can enhance the processes, some good ideas that you think that you can fix something that is not working properly in your company, I encourage the employees to take this advantage and talk to the right people in the organization. We've seen it, and people are listening for a change. They need you to sometimes to come and pitch these ideas, because you are the business people who's using this technology. So you are the true driver of this technology. So if you have an idea, you always come to the right people within the IT team or the C-level team and talk about it. For CEOs, some of them have the vision, okay, and they have the will to change and the power to execute that change. And this is great. While others lack some of these, criteria, and usually it will make the wheel of change a little bit slower. However, with the right C-level team, the CEO, COO, CIO, they usually help each other to reach to that, speed of change that usually the organization require.
Yes, certainly. And it takes the will and the execution and not just a plug and play because it hits different components within the organization, internally and externally. So, yeah, I can't agree more. If I ask you, now we spoke about the CEOs and their engagement when it comes to digital transformation. Do you have an example of one of the organization whom you have seen just really how they onboarded with the digital transformation and what were the key success factors that led to that?
Yes, definitely. I think so. For me personally, the organization that usually succeed are these organization who has clear KPIs where has
Yeah.
been laid down for senior management, for employees, so people understand what are the KPIs that the CEO has on his shoulder in front of the board. Now, if I sit with the CIO and he said, I have requirement, and I said, fantastic, but please, before that, tell me what is your top three KPIs, your personal KPIs and your CEO's KPIs. Believe it or not, not everyone knows it. So you had to dig down asking about, is he looking for increasing the market share? What is the percentage? Is he looking for more branches to open? How many branches? Is it about operational excellence or operational cost decreasing? What is the number that he's looking for? So understanding these KPIs is a vital, I think, part of having any successful digital transformation strategy implemented correctly. Number two, I think with each new project that is being built inside the organization, and these projects should be linked into these KPIs. I have a new project, fantastic. This is great idea. I have these KPIs. Please show me the link. Explain to me how your project can contribute to one of my KPIs. This is the case, then this is great. Then I know this project is going through the correct way of achieving my KPIs.
Yes, yes.
And one thing some small companies or big companies do, basically, if they share these KPIs with their trusted technology vendors, believe me, technology vendors are dying to understand these KPIs so they can channel their portfolio, the technology portfolio, into these KPIs. You would find IBM, VMware, Cisco, Nutanix, all these vendors going saying, or Dell Technologies saying, okay, you have this KPI, I have these solutions that will fit into this. This will help in 10%, this will help in 3%, this will help in 100%. Without this information, technology vendors will keep selling. However, it might not be the right solution that will fit into the right KPIs.
Yeah.
And of course, these KPIs must be reviewed on a quarterly basis to understand where do we stand, how much achievement do we have, and so on and so forth. So
Perfect.
to answer your question, yes, there are companies has been successfully implementing the digital transformation with a clear strategy of implementation that links to clear KPIs, and I've been working with them in many countries in the Gulf, in North Africa, in Levant. Yes, 100%.
Awesome.
This show is brought to you by Logicron, a leading demand generation company, providing solutions and synchronizing all your B2B needs logically.
If we look now as how can the organizations of the future thrive in this very hyper digital world, so what do you see are the top areas that they need to focus on and how to go about that?
I have a simple say as if you don't change, the sun will set sooner than you think.
Yeah.
And I have this story. So a friend of mine, he's around 50 something years old, and his daughter is around 17 and 18. I keep telling this story to all my customers because it's a true story, and it touches the heart and the mind of the people. So his daughter is around 17 and 18, and she talked to her dad, and she said, "Dad, I have 3 banks account." He said, "Daughter, I am 50 something and I have 2. You are like
Yeah.
you're still 17 and 18, and you have 3 bank
You
accounts."
have 3.
And then she said, "Well, the first bank account I had to open because the university asked me to open that bank account within the campus. 2 months later, I found this bank that serve and gives youth programs, specification, blah blah blah. And then I wanted and I opened another account. And then a couple of months later, I found this amazing bank that delivers fully automated service. I did not even need to go to the branch to open the account. Everything has been delivered to me. It's an application. I loved it. So I'm moving forward." The moral of the story, this is the generation that we're dealing with, right? If we don't change, they will go to someone else. There is no much loyalty as it used to be before. If the service provider is not delivering the same quality, the better quality, the ease of
Yeah.
handling, I will go to somewhere else. And this is the generation that we're dealing with today. On top of that, I would add, you have smaller startups, very advanced customers today, tough competition. Even your employees' ambitions to go and move, if you don't give them the right technology solution that will enable them to do the work properly. And also talking about the global market conditions, the oil prices, the logistics, the
Yeah.
chipset situation in Taiwan and in the world, all affecting the customer behavior. You need to be, as a provider, on top of your game to be continuing that game. Other than that, yeah, and you will be losing the customer trust, and you will be losing your market share.
Yeah, and we have seen it with very big organizations that really decline steeply because they have now strong competition from startups that started just like a few years ago. So you could have a long-standing organization over 100 years, and then you got someone 10 years ago starting and really massively disrupting your business. So the closer you are to the customer, the more you are connected with their real challenges. And that's what really organizations need to focus on. Customer centricity is not about just like, oh, yes, customer is number one, but then you do something else. So
I believe today's customers are looking for more transparency. If the shipment is late, please talk to me and tell me the shipment is late.
yeah,
The last thing I wanted to do is to pick up the phone and call you. If I can send a message, chatting, whatever application, and you come back to me with the right answer, with the transparency that I need, I'll be satisfied. I don't want to call. I don't want to send emails anymore. I don't want to, it's I just want to have the status updated in my application and know what's going on. If there is a delay, please be transparent of the delay. And this is all part of the digital transformation story and the service that we deliver or people deliver to their own customers.
of course. And this is very important. I mean, I'm a big fan of Amazon's model. And of course, not every thing that you're going to buy, you're going to get it through Amazon. So, a story from my side, I opened digital accounts for my kids that took through one of the local banks, and it took me like 5 minutes literally to open the bank accounts. It's an amazing product. Very happy with the product, very happy with everything, but the delivery of the cards, that was really painful, and it's done through a third party. And this third party is another local shipping company. One of the cards was held for more than a week. I did so many follow-ups through the call center. People are giving me misleading information. The delivery guys are getting all the time the wrong address because there's a glitch apparently in their system. And when I got really frustrated, I went on their website. I mean, to their bad luck, I found that the mobile number of the CEO of that service, literally Abdullah,
I
and
wouldn't,
I didn't
I
imagine.
wouldn't have an angry customer calling my CEO, although I had plenty of
Exactly.
times.
Imagine. And I wasn't sure that this is the number of the CEO. And I said, okay, I'm just going to give it a try. I'm really frustrated. And I called and he picked up and I was like, are you the CEO? Are you that person? And he said, yes. I said, okay, thank God that I reached you. I'm very frustrated with so and so and so and so and so. And I called your team several times and he took my number and I found that the delivery guy bringing, of course, if the CEO calls them to follow up, then they will reroute things to bring it to me. So lesson learned. Take care of your customer. Don't let things escalate because now social media, not even if I had reached to the guy over phone, I could have posted a bad comment. Customers now have the power to share their voice more than ever. You check the reviews more than anything. Digital transformation is not just something nice or good technology that we're going to keep as back end, but it's how you're engaging offline and online.
Correct. I
So,
think also, part of the how organization can thrive into this new digital world. I think so. Number one asset of each organization is the employees, is the people. I need to make sure that I have programs that keep the talented people inside, whether they're retention programs, talent programs. In such countries like Egypt, Turkey, and North Africa and Levant, today we have a devaluation, huge devaluation in the dollar,
yeah.
and this is affecting the salaries. I need to make sure that my HR team has programs to keep my talent because they would leave me if there is no program. If there is nothing keeping me here, okay, I would leave for the money or for whatever that keep my eye rolling.
Yeah.
So this is one important aspect, and I've seen it affecting too many customers when it comes to IT personnel, because people are hunting the good resources around the globe when it comes to IT.
Yeah.
Number two, I think automation. Automation as much as you can. If you can automate as much as you can, then this will help putting the right people doing the right things. Instead of having a great resource doing a firefighting, I would rather have the same resource building me some new projects, thinking profit center versus cost center.
Yes. Yes.
People sometimes are afraid from the automation. I think automation is a long overdue because I bring the good talented people to do some good stuff, not and I don't want to bring them to do some operational stuff. And then I think companies should use quicker access to technology, public clouds. And when I talk about public clouds, not necessarily meaning the global clouds outside of your country, but these some of them are already available in your own countries, especially maybe in Gulf. We've seen it in Qatar, in Saudi, in UAE, in Bahrain, and now I've heard yesterday in Oman, Amazon also is starting a node.
Ah.
So these nodes, on top of whatever local providers, the big telcos in the countries do, Etisalat, STC, they already have their own infrastructure. In Egypt, we have e-finance, the first sovereign cloud that has been built. So please use these public clouds because they're not as cheap as you think. However, they will give you quick access to market. They will make sure that you are on top of the technology. They will help you to get a better market share for the future as well.
Yeah, most certainly. And that would bring me to a very key question about the massive amount of technology trends that even customers are confused about. It's just like it's changing by the day, really. I don't think it's anymore that it would take 10 years for technology to be well matured. But now, with that amount of technology and the different trends, from your experience, how do you normally go about that, consulting your clients or making sure that a trend is not just a hype?
Okay, so let me talk about something I'm familiar with, and I'm talking about the public cloud versus private cloud.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think this is one of the trends that is happening today. So let's go back 20 years ago, where you have too many servers and too many vendors. You have Dell, Lenovo, IBM, so and HPE. So you have too many providers, and each one of them has their own operating system. And then there are companies like virtualization companies came across, and they standardized the operating system on that server. So now doesn't matter what servers you get, it's the same operating system. Today, our servers is the clouds. So you have too many clouds, and you have too many operating system on these clouds. So there are companies again today that are streamlining the operating system on these clouds. Like where I work at VMware, and we have this, and we have our also competition. They're doing the same, but with such technology, you can use one application from Azure because they are good at that application, and one application from Amazon because you need this extra feature, while you need something locally from Do Etisalat or STC. And your treasury, if you're banking, are using a cloud in UK. So you will be ending up by dealing with multiple cloud, what we call it multi-cloud, okay, with different systems. So you need to have a tool that will help you to normalize all these operations and make sure your team can use the same different cloud with the same mentality and the same advancement. So this is something available today in the market, and I think not only VMware provide that. However, this is something people should talk about and understand, and they should use it and try it, and at least have their team test it to see the value that it provides. Doing that will help definitely the customer think out of the box, because today I'm not thinking out of the box because I have a limitation. Once you understand there is no limits of whatever service you can use, the thinking will be changing. Therefore, the way you deal with your market is going to be changing as well.
Absolutely. Spot on. And I believe this is a really very good summary on that topic. And if I ask you about some examples of any of your clients, cloud journey has been really positive because it's a bumpy journey because of the trends, the implementation, the so many things that you, of course, are very knowledgeable about, and the multi-cloud vision. So referring to one of the vendors over another, to any cloud provider they want to work with. What would you bring as a good practice that you have seen?
So I am a big believer in the hybrid model, meaning customers must have their own on-prem data centers
Yes.
because of multiple reasons. And we can take the political story that happened between Russia and Ukraine, and the
Yeah.
service that has been stopped as a good example. So people who already had the hybrid model, what they did because of the situation, they just moved their workload from whatever global data center, they moved it internally back. It was easy to move, or they moved it somewhere else because the technology allowed them to do so. So they kept working, and the services was up and running. And we had customers in Russia. They moved their application in 20 minutes from Cloud A in the US to Cloud B in Alibaba in China, for example, because of the situation.
Yeah.
COVID situation.
Yeah.
Another example, I think in the region itself, we have customer started. So the way that I believe that you go for public cloud is you need to open and build your own private cloud.
Yes, certainly.
Once you do that, you would understand what is exactly required from the public cloud, and then you can build your extended DR or disaster recovery service from any other provider in any cloud, whether it's locally or globally, if the regulations allowing you to. So in the past 3 to 4 years, I think I had minimum 5 to 7 customers per year doing this private cloud journey. So today, I believe we have too many customers in banking industry, in government sector, in retail, in transportation. They already have the first step, which is their own private cloud. Now it's a matter of how much I want to go for their public cloud. Is it one application? Is it too many applications? I'll tell you one funny story. So when you say with government customers, they say no, public clouds we don't use it. It's out of the regulation, blah blah blah. And then I ask three questions. How about your 365, the Microsoft? Where does it
Yeah.
stand? Right, it's an email. All right, okay. So this is the email. Then how about this specific service that this department use? But they use blah blah blah, and you find out minimum that have seen three applications or four applications is already on the cloud.
That are very sensitive, by the way. I mean, if your chat or email that is on the cloud, that is mostly all the communication that's happening internally.
So what I say to my customers, dears, you're already there.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do, this circle will get bigger and bigger. So you need just to make sure that you understand how to deal with it before the storm get bigger, how to control it, how your team can have the right tool to customize it, control it, build on it as well.
Most certainly. And very interesting discussion and really great stories. I love when stories are brought within the conversation because I think people remember the stories more than anything. But I would like to wrap up by asking you, what are some of your personal tips and tricks that you use for sales and you would like to share with our audience?
So I usually say I'm going to be opening up my notebook now. So,
Yeah,
so usually,
that's the secret recipes.
so I believe that people buy from people because of five things. Usually, if you go around left and right, up and down, usually it's one of the five, all right? And even if you can take it on a personal level as well. So, number one, people buy because they have a legitimate requirement. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you understand there is a legitimate requirement and you have the product or service to sort that out, then there is a need, there is a case, and then you move forward. Number two, they have a problem. It's an emergency and they have an issue and you have the solution for it. So they will buy. So this is the different sales tactic, a different persona hat that you need to wear. So problem management is different. So sometimes you need to step up for if you're a customer to do something and then you collect later on. So you need to be more agile in that area. All right. Number three, they buy because their management decided to go. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So you have to do it and you have to do it this way. So they don't have a chance. And this is another way of doing it. Number four is peers pressure. And when I talk about peers, I talk about internally inside the organization. For example, a different department that's competing and he's doing this and you're doing that. So you need to be shining. Or different companies are competing. So I use this tactic if I know two customers are competing and I told the guy, by the way, your competition is doing 1, 2, 3. We can help you to compete with that if you do deploy these services and solutions and products. So this is a tactic sometimes is very helpful if the right people inside the other organization is there. So if they're aggressive into their competition behavior.
Yeah.
The last one, which is my favorite, which is I believe many people still don't have it, it's building their legacy. People would like to build a legacy. With whether you are a junior, mid-level or senior, sometimes you want to put your stamp, footprint inside this organization. So you want to build a legacy for your name. Oh, I have been building this project. I made this, I made that. And if you find that person, then you can build something great. Then you can build something big. And I don't shy behind the numbers. I'm not afraid to say, you know what, I'm looking for $5 million deal with you. Oh, this is too much. No, it's not too much. Let me explain how can build the value into that 5 million. Let me show you how this is your,
Yeah.
how this, yeah. So these five points will usually help me to do my sales, and I also train my team to do so and to understand the persona of their customers. Therefore, for them to understand how to move forward as well.
I really like the part about building the legacy because this is very important. building a legacy and protecting that legacy in the sense that you're consistent with a positive, of course, behavior and attitude that really leaves in the end a legacy that people will just remember you with and that you can pass on to others in the workforce. So this is a great point. Abdullah, really thank you so much for this great episode. Very rich in engaging content and conversation. Had the pleasure to have this episode with you. Thank you so much.
I would like again to thank you for giving me the chance to do this podcast. I believe I was happy to engage with such personality as yours. I
Thank
think if I had a chance to add more for our audience, that would be great. If any other requirement, happen to come in the future, I'm also ready to do another episode if required. Thank you again, and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Abdullah. And really, it would be our pleasure, of course, to host you. And for our listeners, please, if you have any questions for Abdullah, share with us and we'll be happy to get back to you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the B2B Pod by the Pulse of Dubai with your host, Radwa Hassan. This show was brought to you by Logicron. If you aren't already, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Google, or Apple Podcasts. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can visit us on thepodcast.ae and follow us on social media at the B2B Pod. See you next time.